So, with the summer holidays finally coming to a close and, well, people going back to school and going back to work, that also means my time at work starts to come down a little bit just for the sole reason that I'm not needed as much. You know what that means, lads? Get to play more Yu-Gi-Oh! And as you can tell, we're in somewhere new. Well, new to you guys, not new to me by any stretch of the imagination. I am not centered still. There we go. New to you guys, but however, very much not new to me. This is my locals for a lot of the time, and we are at Magic Mayhem Hobbies over in Bexhill, over in a couple of towns away from where I live, and we are here probably a little bit earlier than normal in comparison. I'm on my own today, unfortunately. I have no Andrew, he's currently at work, but we are here for locals, and if I can find the box, Jesus Christ, we have something new to play. It's not something I've showcased on the channel, but it's a deck I really enjoy playing and have really been enjoying playing this format alongside one of the decks I have shown, which is Unchained. So, let's show you what I'm playing for this. So, ladies and gentlemen, for this locals, as you can most likely tell from what I've been going on about recently, if you know me quite well, it's not in center. And that is Unchained. This deck has taken the world by storm across multiple different regions, Europe, America, slightly less Asia. But the fact that this deck is doing it as well as it is currently right now, with the top of the tops from YCS Vancouver, YCS Sao Paulo, and many other ways, why not continue playing it after I had managed to, well, really enjoy the deck for quite a while. So, we are going to start with the Unchained stuff. We have 3 Unchained Twins Aruha, one of the many main starters of the deck now. We now have also the 3 Unchained Soul of Sharava, or Shavaro, I don't know how the fuck you say it, I always get really confused, my tongue is not my friend. In this version of the deck, we have a lot more starters than just these 6 in comparison. We have 3 different engines going on here, and we will get to what I'm on about in just a moment. Then we have slightly different ratios for the Unchained monsters that we have left. There are more than one. We have 2 Unchained Twins Rakea, and definitely one a lot of people do not agree with in this specific instance is 2 Unchained Twins Aruha. Aruha is Sarama. Sarama is one of those cards that not a lot of people feel like should be played at more than 1, because it doesn't particularly do a lot on its own. However, I have found out that it comes up in the grind game time and time again that we definitely need at least 2 of the Sarama just to keep the deck going. Then we have the one of Unchained Soul of Disaster, Abominable Unchained Soul, and Shiyama. These 3 cards actually did a lot of work for me previously, and considering the new combos from this version of the deck with Muckraker and Nightmare Griffin, yes, I've gone down that route. We have decided to see what these cards can do, and in testing they have done very, very well. Now, under the spells and traps, we have still the 3 Abominations Prison. This has not changed all that much, if at all, actually. I do want to get a 3rd Secret Abominations Prison, but unfortunately, they are now like £60 a copy. Fuck me, right? And then we have the 3 traps, or the 2 sets of 3 traps, 3 Chamber, and 3 Escape. We definitely need to play all of these. You can technically take out one of the Sarama and one of the Rakea, but I just personally believe that all of these cards are needed in some capacity for the deck to work as consistently as it can. So, that is it for the Unchained portion of the deck. We now have the other engines, which obviously, if you guys have kept up within the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh scene, you can understand where I'm about to go with this. We now have 3 Tour Guide from the Underworld. Tour Guide from the Underworld. For some reason, I always never get it right. Obviously, the Tour Guide package. We have 3 Tour Guide, 1 Fiendish Rhino Warrior. This is actually a card I only got today because I've never owned it and I didn't expect to be playing this version. Obviously, this card is what mainly facilitates the Muckraker Nightmare Griffin combo. If you decide to go down that route, you don't particularly need to do it every single time, but it does get you so much advantage, and well, it allows you to continuously chain block summon from hand. So if you draw the Fiendish Rhino as well as the Tour Guide, it's not going to be the end of the world. Then we have the other package that I actually really like in this deck, and that is the D package. So we have 1 Vice King Requiem, and we have the 3 Dark Contract with the Gate. Unfortunately, like, this card doesn't do a lot on its own, but if you still have this left in the deck, so if you activate this first and then search this, this is when the card or the package actually starts to become very, very useful. So yeah, that's the technical honorary Unchained for the deck. Now, onto the non-engine is where probably things get a little bit wonky. I would suppose I think this is considered standard, but I'm unsure about it at the moment. We have 3 Joel and Lockbird. We definitely need to play this format. This card is absolutely nuts. Then we have the Triple Tactics package for this deck, which is 3 Triple Tactics Thrust or Triple Tactics Tasking and 1 Triple Tactics Talents. My copy is in Dutch because it's funny. Why not? I do have common copies. And then we have, the thing is with the Triple Tactics thing is that you can thrust for talents, or you can thrust for literally your entire engine in a lot of instances when it comes to the Triple Tactics engine. It's very, very good, and obviously if you thrust for talents and then talents, you can look at your opponent's hand. This card won me one of my games, or won me one of my main duels, I would suppose, against Vanadium Player, which I will get onto a little bit later. So yeah, then we have obviously the card technically we also have the other thrust target in the form of Harpy's Feather Duster. I have a Labyrinth player at my locals. Motherfucker knows how to play the deck a little too well. This card needs to be in here at all times. Then obviously we have 3 Pot Prosperity. This card seems to become not less and less useful, but it becomes like sometimes more of a detriment if I happen to banish some of my cards that I don't particularly want to banish all the time. And then again, I'm unsure of the banishing patterns at the moment. And then obviously we have the final 3 cards of the main deck, 3 Infinite Impermanence. This is a 43 cards deck. A lot of people really don't, or like, they're not sure about Unchained at this amount. Definitely a lot of people don't like playing 2 Sarama, but sometimes you can't particularly do all that much and, well, please everyone. So yeah, that's the main deck. Let's move on to the side deck. Not side deck, extra deck. The extra deck for this Unchained deck is definitely a little bit more different in comparison, but not by much. I want to kind of keep it standard currently. So we have 2 Unchained Soul Lord of Yama. This definitely needs to become a 3 of, because I always find myself needing 3 at least once. So we have 3 Unchained Soul of Rage. Unchained Soul of Rage is definitely going to be the card that I bring down to 2, because I never resolve it more than twice per game, and if I'm resolving it a 3rd time, I'm really on the back foot enough as is. Then we have 1 Unchained Soul of Anguish. We definitely don't need to play more than 1 of this, because a lot of the time it's either this is what I'm going into off of Unchained Soul of Rage on my opponent's turn, or I'm going into something else that I'm using this on my turn. Mainly it's either Unchained Abomination, which we do have here, or we have, well, Access Code, which a lot of the time we're making Access Code anyway, because sometimes, like, this card's incredible, but I haven't seen its full potential quite yet, but it'll definitely get there. Then we have the non-Unchained extra deck monsters. We have 1 Muckraker. This card, for some reason, was really fucking expensive for a long time. I blame Labyrinth. So obviously when it got announced for the tins, I was very, very happy with it, and I managed to pull 2 in my case, so what do you fucking do? Then we have Nightmare Unicorn. This card, I haven't summoned this a lot off of Rage currently because I'm normally going into Anguish, but a lot of the time this card is incredibly good in more primitive game states to where you are just trying to get rid of opponent's cards. Then we have the honorary Fiend monster of the entire deck, or one of the 2 honorary Fiend monsters, Access Code Talker. I haven't made this card a lot because a lot of people aren't really lasting that long against the deck, especially with this next card being obviously Nightmare Griffin. It's not really like lasting too long for me to get to the point where I either need Unchained Abomination or Access Code to OTK my opponent. Then obviously, if we're playing against like big fuck off towers decks, and obviously unfortunately Runic Stun, Underworld Gods to close board is a card we definitely need. Then, for the Xyz package, we definitely need Wave Hiking Caesar. This card has definitely been needed since the very beginning of this deck becoming a little bit more into the picture when it comes to just being a deck that is around quite a lot this format. Then obviously we have one of the newer cards that I was trying to get a hold of, but for some reason it was like £10 and obviously it was this deck that did it. DDD Divisor King Deus Machinex. This card is incredible going second because it threatens, well, Zeus. It definitely threatens Zeus a lot of the time. You can just go make Vice King Requiem, make Machinex, then obviously pop, then just do all you need, attack, make Zeus, da 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 da. You definitely need this a lot of the time. So yeah, that is, well, my extra deck. Now, let's go on to the side deck. As I've possibly said in previous videos, I'll have to possibly put a clip up if I can find it. The side deck in this deck would definitely be a different side deck to the ones you may play in your deck, because the meta locally to you will change depending on if you go to maybe like a regional or if you go to just something new entirely. So I've gone for just kind of generic stuff that I personally think has helped and, well, will help. So we have 3 Radiant, obviously good against a lot of decks thanks Towers monsters, especially Pearly, Mathmech, kind of, I guess. I played against Mathmech today, it was really fucking weird. Well, will do, I guess. It's just really weird. Then obviously we have Bestial Engine, or we have the Bestial package, should I say. Juris Worm, or 2 Magnum, 1 Juris Worm. We don't really need to play more of this. I'm thinking about playing 2 Mag, 2 Juris, because Mag doesn't particularly do a lot on its own apart from, well, Search Druis, but Druis, obviously if it's sent to graveyard by any means it can send another card. Then obviously we have one of the tech cards that one of my friends put me on quite a while ago, Dark Spirit of Banishment. Dark Spirit of Banishment is one of these cards that I originally thought was not very good to play. However, this card is incredible in more primitive game states because you can just send it to graveyard, target either a bomb or Unchained Solar Disaster, special it back and force your opponent to attack it and perform damage calc, which is one of the weirder cards, but it's definitely one to, well, keep around, especially inside if you're playing the tour guide version like I am. Then obviously we're going on to the spells. Obviously we have 2 Dark Ruling or more. I don't particularly think I need to play the third one because I'm playing Triple Tactics Thrust. It's going to be able to search it if I need to break an opponent's board. So we're only playing 2, but I do kind of want to see it every now and again. And one of the cards I definitely want to see a lot of the time is 3 Evenly Matched. This card, obviously, like most cards, or like most decks that play this, or play this card, incredibly good card. You need a lot of the time to play this, or to play this deck going second. Unfortunately, if your Machinex gets impermed, or your Zeus gets impermed, or whatever the fuck it may be. But it's definitely just a good card going second. Then we have 2-dimensional barrier, like Dark Ruler No More before. I don't need to play 3 because if I side 2 and I keep in the 3 Triple Tactics Thrust, I'm not gonna need it all that much. And my current only not feasible thrust target, but thrust target that I personally think is good in this is Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. I will probably also still play 2 of this because I kind of want to see it every now and again. Unfortunately, in testing, this card has not resolved quite yet, and even if it has, it's not done a lot in comparison to what I would like it to do. So yeah, this card will be tested more and more. So yeah, that's the list I'm taking from it. If you guys want a proper picture of it, it'll be up on the screen right now. So yeah, back to me at locals. So that's what we're playing today. It's gonna be a little bit of fun today. I managed to finally get my Fiendish Rhino Warrior off of someone, which is very, very happy. I'm still waiting on my 3rd Unchained Soul Lord of Yama to come in the mail, and hopefully we should be able to do very well. I've been doing consistently well for like the past couple of weeks or so. I've literally had a 2-1 record pretty consistently, even without the tour guides and obviously the tour guide package, DD package, so on and so forth. However, I am very well aware that I made a deck profile for Unchained just after it came out for the pure version, so no tour guide, no DDD package. I still believe that Unchained is good as a pure version. You don't need to play the DD stuff. However, the tour guide version and, well, the DDD package does make this deck a lot better when it comes to bricking. So I'll probably put a combo up on the screen right now or in like the next little bit to show what the DDD package does for the deck. But to summarize it here, just in case you don't particularly want to watch it, I'll put like a little indentation if I can figure it out. The DDD package stops bricking as such. Like if you draw Dark Contract and a Abomination Prison or an Unchained Trap, you can still go completely full combo with obviously Hiking Caesar and so on and so forth, but you can't. But you must remember to link off the Machinex, which it feels really wrong doing it, but you have to do it for the full combo. It just facilitates the same standard combo I showed in the deck profile with Sharava and so on and so forth, with continuously being able to figure out how the deck can function through something like Joel. But unfortunately, that version does kind of play through Joel, but you do have to be very, very specific about it. So you'll have to figure it out. So yeah, we're going to be starting here in in like an hour-ish as of me recording. So yeah, hopefully I shall see you guys after round one. And so, ladies and gentlemen, round one is, well, in the books. I'm taking a page out of Nimnim's book, especially because it helps me with just understanding what the fuck I need to do. So, round one, unfortunately, was against a deck I struggle with currently quite a lot when I don't have the understanding with it, despite me learning it, and that is Mannadium Scareclaw, or in a lot of instances of what people are calling it, King Calamity FTK, or whatever the fuck it's called. So, in the first round, I'm going to just quickly put the book here for now. In game one, we managed to go full combo with obviously Nightmare Griffin and Mark Raquel with the new tour guide stuff, and it was very much a good way to start going first on and so forth. But unfortunately, he is very much knowledgeable in the deck on how to break boards in the sense of just understanding where I need to go from what point to another. So obviously he managed to triple tactics take my Nightmare Griffin, which then stopped the obviously effect of not being able to use special summon monster effects. Linking off his Thesis of Maratara was not something I could do for the sole reason is that he had Baron and Dissipator already on the field, so he just unfortunately had everything in that round. Game two, and this is one thing about Mannadium that I know very well because I've started playing the deck. Deck bricked like a motherfucker. He bricked. He literally could not do much, and I managed to draw full combo as I could previously explained to with Muckrack and Nightmare Griffin, and even some extras because I had the extra Sarama in hand to just normal summon and just have massive follow up and then just be able to control the game from there. He scooped it up and we went to game three, where I am really annoyed with myself. I very much blundered this one. Simply put, I missed the timing on Yama, which obviously he negated and destroyed my Rakea, which could have made a chain of Rakea chain 1, Yama as chain 2, banishing himself to summon back Rage or something. But I just did the Rakea and attempted to then thrust chain Yama. You can't do that because unfortunately it's a if. It is, and it completely misses its timing. And it's really, really annoying because it very much cost me the game. And unfortunately, sometimes this happens, but I was very, very close. And unfortunately, sometimes you just don't win. Sometimes the meta decks aren't always it. So yeah, that's round one. We're getting to round two eventually. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at round two, and unfortunately, we have the bye. Sometimes it happens quite a lot in the sense that when you lose the first round, you get paired down, you get a bye, and it's a little annoying because, well, I don't have a lot to write down, and I don't have a lot to recap over for you lot. But obviously, round two was obviously I'll be sitting down, just kind of chilling, and well, watching see how everyone else gets on. So yeah, hopefully, round three is a little bit more fun, yeah. And that's the end of the day. I know I've very much only done 2 rounds, but we've been busy as a motherfucker. So I am going to obviously get my OTS, do that stuff, and hopefully I'll be back home with you guys to do the rest of the recap for this. So yeah, I shall see you in a minute. I don't know what I are. Is this the old one? I think no, you must go around. Steve's outside. Oh, actually, Finry! Oh! Very nice! And after running around for trains, we are finally back home. Home, sweet home. However, I'm not done talking about Yu-Gi-Oh yet for you guys. I still have a couple more rounds to talk over for you guys. More specifically, 2 more rounds after locals. So yeah, let's get into the round 3 recap. So, round 3 was against a deck I have never played against before, but I know can be very, very good at what it does. And that is Terahertz Mathmech. Mathmech was one of the decks that people thought were going to take over quite a lot of Power of the Elements format, and, well, formats following it, with obviously Cyberstorm Axis giving us Firewall Defensor, Maze of Memories giving us Firewall Dragon, Dark Fluid, Neo Tempest, Terahertz, and so on and so forth. But it never really did much, all things considered, in comparison to something like Branded, Kashtira, or even, well, Vanadium or Unchained, unfortunately. But I could not underestimate this deck by any stretch of the imagination, because I knew how strong it was and how good of a card that Circular was. But because I was unsure, unfortunately, I did make some massive fucking misplays, unfortunately. So, in the first game, we actually managed to not out-resource him in the beginning. We managed to go through our standard combo. He unfortunately managed to break it with the help of Firewall Dragon, Neo Tempest, Terahertz, Mathmech Super Factorial Laplation, and just the standard Mathmech stuff to my knowledge. But the simple summon of Abominable Unchained, or Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, managing to summon Unchained Soul of Disaster from my hand, and eventually linking off said Firewall Dragon, Neo Tempest, Terahertz into Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, I managed to just quickly net us more and more advantage than the Mathmech player could pretty much handle, unfortunately, because Mathmech is very similar to Vanadium in the sense that both decks are very gas-heavy ridden decks. If their board gets broken, to my knowledge, they can't really do much much in the following crackback terms. To my knowledge, I don't know a lot about Mathmech's crackback potential, but yeah. Game 2 is when one of my worst nightmares came true when playing this version of Unchained. Normal Summon Tour Guide, Imperm, set 2 pass. Unfortunately, this was the worst hand I could pretty much think of when it comes to Unchained, in the sense of being able to actually have a starter but have it instantly negated by something as simple as Imperm, which I can normally dodge pretty easily with something like Unchained Soul of Shirava, which I did do quite a lot. I managed to dodge Imperm on Tour Guide with Shirava a fair amount, but in this specific game I did not open Shirava. I just singularly opened Tour Guide. My opponent opened I believe it was Imperm and Silent Mining, as well as like 4 Mathmech combos, so I couldn't do much this game too. So we are now left with a 1-1 record in this match. Game 3 in this matchup was very, very stressful, in the sense that we were down to 10 minutes on the clock and both of us have very, very long combos. My opponent managed to go through his entire combo and, well, unfortunately, we could not do all that much. I topped at the Kaiju for turn, and I was very, very much hoping that would have been it. But unfortunately, Imperm come back to bite us in the arse once again. And, well, Imperm plus Super Factorial is definitely a combination, and we ended up losing this match 2-1. So, unfortunately, we are 1x, whatever it is. I've had 1 win, 2 losses. This, unfortunately, that just happens sometimes. So yeah, round 4, ladies and gentlemen. Round 4 was against Dinos, and there are multiple players at my locals that play Dinos. I have a negative record against all of them, so I wasn't looking forward to this at all. We had lost the dice roll, which is actually very much important against Dinos, because, well, if they manage to go first, they are just going to set up every single negate imaginable, and unfortunately, that kind of happened in this instance. Even though we managed to draw our opponent, they still ended on Abyss Dweller, Appaloosa, and Superconductor Tyranno, or Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Yeah, Ultimate Conductor. Superconductor is a completely different monster. But Ultimate Conductor Tyranno seems to have the massive nuts to be able to just flip all of my shit face down, and unfortunately, because it can attack multiple times, we could not out it, and unfortunately we did not draw any follow-up, or good follow-up should I say, or any negates to stop the UCT or literally anything else. So game 1 we are already down 1, unfortunately. In game 2 I decided to side in my 2-dimensional barrier and my Karma Cannon. This makes sense for what I'm just about to say. If you think what I said earlier was the biggest brick of all time, try drawing 1 imperm, 2 thrust, 2 thrust, talents, abominable chamber. What the fuck am I meant to do with that? And top decking imperm for the turn was literally gonna seal it for me regardless of what I did. I was not able to interrupt my opponent. Actually, I just scooped it up right there and there, to be perfectly honest, because I just could not do anything else. And it was one of those things where I was like, it's a little unfortunate that I just completely flopped this entire tournament, but hey, as you have seen, Ulti Fenrir was pulled, and I'm very, very happy about it. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you just don't have a very good week, and sometimes, actually a lot of the time for me, you can't win them all. I had a very good week last week at Locals, going with actually an XO record and ending up first. Was it first or was it second? I think it was second, actually, because obviously tiebreakers are weird, points are really weird, so on and so forth. But the thing is about what was different about this week instead in comparison to last week was the knowledge that people now have against Unchained in comparison, because when I played it last week, no one really had any knowledge about the deck, and I was able to sweep up a lot of matchups quite easily. But now with the tops from Pack TCG and Jesse Cotton coming from YCS Sao Paulo and YCS Vancouver respectively, people know a lot more about the deck, and unfortunately that does play into our disadvantage a lot of the time. But yeah, I intend to be playing Unchained a lot more this format. I really like it, and it's going to be a lot of fun for this format, and hopefully I'll be able to pick up something new that, well, obviously has the same amount of fun as it. So yeah, that's all for me, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to see more vlogs like this, because I'm sure to be doing more of them because I have the time now, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and all that shit down below. And because obviously I appreciate it, I love having a chat with you lot. And well, if you want to follow me on my social medias, they'll be at the end of this video. And yeah, here's the final deck list that's on the screen. It should be over my face or somewhere on the screen. Don't know what the fuck it is. That's it. Have a good one. Stay safe. Much love to you all, and happy dueling. Catch you later.